listeners. Welcome to another episode of Romance Unraveled. I am one of your co hosts, Jacob Bozen, and for the month of May, we have a new co host with us. It is a returning guest. My best friend, Abigail Collings, is going to be the co host with me this month. And then today you will have one of my stories, because I have many. We ran out, or we had like a scheduling issue today with one of Abby's guests, and so you get me today. So Abby will be introducing, or I guess interviewing me. So Abby, let's have you introduce yourself, for people who don't know you yet.
Okay, hi listeners. I'm Abigail, like Jacob said. I'm so excited to be back here on the pod. When it first dropped, I had an episode with Jacob. I think it was the second episode. So if you haven't heard that one yet, I think it's called, what's the episode title, Jacob?
It's my Tinder date giantess obsession. And it's our most popular
Yes, the
episode.
giantess obsession.
Yeah, the
So
audio
go
that
check that out if you haven't already.
right. And it's funny because it's our most popular episode, but it's like the only episode where I have audio issues because I was still trying to figure it out.
So,
And so I'm hoping people
so we
are
got to fix that today.
right. Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else you want to
So I'm
say?
excited to be back. Yeah, I'll just give you guys a little bit of information about me. Jacob and I have been friends for over a decade. We grew up together, and I still live here in Utah where we grew up together, and I'm a therapist here. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, awesome. So, this story today is actually a more recent one. I just feel like telling it. So, I probably moving out of Washington, D.C. I'm really over it there. And so, one of the places I'm looking at is Knoxville, Tennessee, just because it's would be an easy move. It's got mountains, it's cheap, that kind of stuff. And so, I went and checked it out about, I would say, 3 weeks ago. And
Okay.
of course, when I go, um, or I guess in my mind, if I'm moving somewhere, I kind of want to know what the gay scene is to see if the people there would be dateable. Because, I'm looking for a
Sure.
husband and I like take that pretty serious. And so, like, if if it's somewhere that
Yeah,
doesn't
you
have a
gotta
lot of
figure out what the pool is like.
right, yeah. So if it's somewhere that doesn't really have a lot of options, then it's kind of meh to me. Like I don't really want to live there.
Hmm.
So I had
Right.
actually not had Grinder for, I would say, 3 months, and then I re-downloaded it about
Wow.
3 weeks ago when I went to Knoxville. And get there, and I'm getting the lay of the land, kind of exploring around a little bit. And my first experience, so I have three different dates that I'm going to tell you today. They're all kind of short, and they all
Okay.
are very different. Actually,
Okay.
I have four. I think I have four. Oh God.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Okay, well, before you even get into it, help me understand your process. Like, you get to Knoxville, you're wanting to connect to the scene, meet people, go out on dates. Like, where do you even start? What are you doing?
so my first one, I was just downtown Knoxville, and I was talking to this guy, on Grinder, and he just wanted to meet me super, super bad, and so I said, well, I'm out and about downtown, like you should come walk around and show me your city, like at least in the downtown area. So
Okay.
there wasn't really like a mechanism of me like deciding who I was going to be with. It was really just like who wanted to, because it wouldn't
Okay.
necessarily have been just like, oh, would I date you? It would be like, do you like living here? What do you don't like about here? How's the game
Right.
scene
Okay.
here? That kind of thing. So I was really down for it.
Okay. So, yeah, it's kind of like almost like an interview a little bit to collect some data about the area also, not just dating.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my first one, like I said, I was downtown Knoxville, and he desperately wanted to come to my hotel. And I'm like,
Of
no, I
course.
am in downtown. I'm keeping myself busy. Like, I'm not here for that necessarily. And so I said, okay, meet me downtown. I'm at this place. I'll meet you. I think I said I'll meet him on the square at like a monument. Um,
Okay.
so he's like, okay, I'm t 10 minutes away. I'll meet you there. So about 15 minutes went by. He never came, but I could see his location. Like on Grinder, you can see how many feet they are away. You don't necessarily see their
Right.
location, but you can see like if they're actually coming to you like they said
Yeah.
they would. So he was like he initially showed I think it was like 5 miles away, and then he was like 1,000 feet away, and then it was like 200 feet away, but I couldn't see him.
Hmm.
Like I just could not see him
Oh.
anywhere. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna be in this bar. Come into the bar. So he messaged me and he said, I'll meet you there. Waited, never showed up. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm done with the bar. I had my drink. I'm gonna go to this like popcorn candy shop, which I don't like popcorn or candy. I just wanted to check it out. And
Okay.
he said, okay, I'm really almost there. Like, I'm gonna come in. So I'm in this popcorn candy shop. I don't see him, but there's this really old fat guy who's eyeing me. And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
okay, we probably have a catfish on our hands. And
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm done playing cat and mouse with you. So I left, but his location still showed pretty close to me. So I'm pretty sure it was this older, fat individual who was pretending to be
No.
a younger, attractive looking man. And he just wanted,
Oh my gosh.
because some people get off on that kind of thing. Like I don't know why, but I mean, that it could, maybe it's not true, but he never showed up. That's the first time in my life I've ever been stood up. And it was my first
Oh
experience in
my
Knoxville.
gosh.
Really weird.
That's ridiculous. And you would hope that you never have to have a first experience with getting stood up. But then with that being your first time in Knoxville too, double whammy.
Right. So now what the
Um,
hell?
I'm so curious, like what was going through your mind at the time? Like, were you thinking in that moment, like, oh, is it that guy over there? Like, because I'm in my brain start coming up with theories like, are they just watching me or are they like anxious or nervous and like maybe they showed up but then bailed last minute because they were scared or something? Like, what kind of theories were running through your mind?
Well, once the older fat guy was looking at me up and down, and it was right after he had told me that he got to the popcorn candy shop, I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, like it's for sure
Like,
you.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. And I was
Does
like,
catfishing happen a lot in your experience?
um, not a ton, but it has happened before. Or it's like people will use very old pictures, like decades
Okay.
or like several years old. And so it that kind of counts, but not really. So that's the first
Okay.
story.
So there's kind of levels to the catfishing. Like it can either be photos of a completely different person or just old photos that you don't look like anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Okay,
the
I
first
see.
story.
So that's date
Um,
one.
yep. Our second one was for dinner. Um, went to a Mexican restaurant with a blank profile on Grinder, but he eventually sent me his face picture. And anyways, we show up to dinner and he's very shy. Like I'm kind of shy too, but he was very shy. Like I had to like really keep the conversation going. And
Hmm.
I said, "So, like are you out to anybody?" And he shakes his head no. And I'm like,
Oh
"Okay.
my.
Okay, that's fine." But like that's not I mean, I wasn't there to like date people. I was just, you know what I mean. I was there to kind of see the lay of the land. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, none of my friends know, none of my family knows. He's like, I'm very ashamed, da 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 da. And
Mm.
I said, well, I'm gonna be going to like the gay bar. in Knoxville after. You should come with me." And he said, "I can't because one of my gay friends goes there all the time and I don't want him to see
Oh.
me." And I said, "Wait, what?" And I said, you have a gay friend and you're not
Mm.
comfortable like coming out to him?" And he said,
Oh.
"No." He's like, I'm not ready for it," which is fine, whatever.
Mm.
So I kind of convinced him to go to the bar with me, and we left dinner, and I was on my way, and then he messaged me and he said, "Sorry, I can't do it."
Oh, wow.
Which was kind of sad, but
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
that's disappointing.
if you're not ready, you're not ready, and I guess I kind of got the sense in Knoxville that there was a lot of shame, like tons of blank
Oh,
profiles, people who like were not comfortable with themselves for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because it's super religious there. I'm not really sure. But that was the second date, okay?
okay.
Um, the third, I wouldn't say date, it was more of a run-in. So I go to this bar in Knoxville around like 9:45 p.m. After dinner by myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
walk in and the bouncer lady, she's like, "There's a cover charge," and so I'm like annoyed already. And so it's just $5. So I give her $5, but I can't see inside. So I don't know if there's lots of people. I don't know what kind of people there are, anything like this. So I pay and I go inside, and I'm not even kidding you. There was like less than 10 people, but they were all old fat men.
No,
Yeah, so
not
I
after paying
was,
the cover.
what?
Not after paying a cover fee,
Well,
too.
exactly. So I was like, shit. Like I was like, well, I already paid, like whatever. Like I'll just wait for a little
Yeah.
bit and whatever. So I go up to the bar and get a drink, and of course they're all eyeing me because I'm the young one that's in there now. And
Yeah.
order a drink, and this guy on my left, um, he's probably he was the next to me, he had been the youngest one there. He was about maybe in his 40s or something like this. And he's like, "So,
Mm-hmm.
are you visiting?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm visiting. I might move here." And he said, "I'm visiting too." And I'm like, "Oh, so like you don't really come to this bar a lot?" And he's like, "No." And I said, "Well, is this a really weird experience for you too?" He said, "Yeah, there's not really anybody here." So,
Oh, dang.
my friend Adam calls me, and I'm like, "Thank God, like I can like leave." So, get on the phone with Adam, and I go to the back of the bar, like in the outside area in the very back. And this
Mm-hmm.
older, probably in his upper 30s, low 40s guy, just ripped, like buff as can be, like just
Hello.
big in stature, the whole thing. He follows me, and but I'm on the phone.
Oh.
And so I get out, sit at the table outside, and he's just staring at me. And I'm on the phone with Adam, and he's just staring at me. Like he will not stop looking at me.
Oh my gosh.
And I like kind of like trade eyes with him, like I'm looking back at him, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of interested a little bit, but I'm like, "You're 40 and you're like you're giant," and it's like I like people shorter than me or my height, like this is not going to work, whatever. So I finally get off the phone, and he comes over to me and he's like, "Hey, how are you?" Like introduce himself, and he said, "Are you new here? Are you visiting?" And I said, "I'm visiting, like it's somewhere I'm considering moving." And
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere, randomly, he's like, "Well, I'll tell you about me. I am a Godzilla collector." And I said,
What?
I said, Godzilla? Like the movie? And he said, oh, yes. He said, I
Like, did I hear you correctly?
exactly. And he's like, oh, yes, I love Godzilla. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay. So he starts showing me all of his Godzilla accessories he's wearing. He's got Godzilla earring, which I did not notice.
oh,
Godzilla
oh,
necklace. His phone cover is Godzilla. His phone,
good
like,
Lord.
notifications start going off, and it's Godzilla roaring. And I'm like, what in the hell? And so he's like telling me all his Godzilla love. And he starts showing me pictures. He's got two homes. He's got one home in Chicago, one in Knoxville, and they're both Godzilla themed homes. And
Oh my God.
like everything Godzilla you can think of in these homes. Like I was like, I didn't know there was this much Godzilla stuff out there. People liked it that much. Like he's got all the action figures, all of the art, like bed sheets are Godzilla, like everything
Oh,
Godzilla. Like I'm
wow.
sure that his like plates were Godzilla, like like everything. And so I
Oh
said,
my
so like,
gosh.
what about it? Like, what about Godzilla? Like, what draws you to Godzilla? And he said, it's have loved it since I was a kid. I'm like, okay, like
Okay.
sure, but like let's like that would be like me like having a Britney Spears house, you know? Like
Jacob, be honest. If you could, you would.
no, I would not. Like that's so ridiculous. Like I would never. Like the most Britney I have is like a Britney Spears shirt and my CDs. That's it. Like this, like I would never have Britney bobbleheads or action figures, dolls, sheets, whatever you name it. I would not ever. That's so weird. But yeah, he had all this Godzilla stuff. And so he said, I'm like, what do you do for work? And he says, well, I'm a banjo player. And so he said,
What?
yeah, he said, I'm actually building a Godzilla banjo. And I said, oh, interesting. He shows me pictures and he's like, here's the deal. I am going to sell this to the people who make the Godzilla movies. And in exchange, they're going to have me on screen in the next Godzilla movie for at least 20 seconds.
Oh my God.
And I was like, how am I like, why do I draw these sorts of people? Like, I literally just exist and it comes my way
Oh
from
no.
the force. And so I
There's
was,
nothing you can do about it.
no. And I was like, okay,
Oh no.
I'm gonna be nice. There's nothing really wrong with this. Whatever. It's weird, but whatever. So I said,
Oh,
I think that you should have a Godzilla museum. Like one day, like you should open Godzilla museum because he has literally everything Godzilla. So
it
after
sounds like it.
yeah, so after we got done with our Godzilla conversation, he didn't really want to know anything about me, and he just left. So I
Oh,
was,
okay.
and so I was like,
I can't believe that, honestly.
yeah, it was like you're gonna make me listen to all the Godzilla and then not really ask me about me. It was the weirdest thing. So I'm like, okay, I need to go to a different gay bar because this one is always weird. So I get in my car,
Yeah.
go to the next one, and I get there and I cannot find parking anywhere. I'm driving around. I'm like, where are people parking? But like the whole parking lot was full. So I ended up having to go across the street and I parked, but I'm sat there for a second on the phone with my friend Laura, and I'm watching the people go into the bar, and they're all these cat people walking into the bar. And I was just like, what is wrong with the city? Like, we got Godzilla and cat people running wild. Like, what's going on?
No.
And so I was like,
Oh my God.
I don't really want to deal with the cat people. Like, that's a no for me. So I went back to my hotel and I was like, I'm kind of done. This is weird. So the following day, I had made plans with a different guy to go to dinner on Easter. And
Mhm.
we get to dinner and everything's great and normal. He was super sweet and nice. And he paid. Um, he's like, no, like you're the visitor here, like I'll pay. And yeah, so like if I'm probably gonna go back to Knoxville
Okay.
in the next week or two and probably have dinner with him again. So at least there was like a good experience out of the whole thing. At least I know that there was at least one normal person in Knoxville.
One in the entire town.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that your experience at least ended on a good note because it sounds like you got an interesting preview of lots of little different sub communities.
Well, for sure. Yeah, if I had not had dinner with this last guy who was nice, I would have been like,
Mhm.
oh, maybe the gays in DC really aren't that bad. And that's
Oh
saying something. And that
no!
is saying something.
That would be
Um,
quite the statement. Holy cow.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the story. I mean, usually when I go new places, like even for vacation, like I usually travel alone. I tend to do these things.
Hmm.
Like I usually like am with a new guy every day, and he's showing me his city and different restaurants and bars and attractions and whatever else. Just because it's like
Yeah.
it's more fun that way, and I'm alone usually when I travel because it's easier. And I'm like, no, like
Hmm.
sometimes it's not super fun to be alone the whole time. So that's the
Yeah,
one thing
that's like
about
a
Grinder.
built-in personal travel guide.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Grinder, I guess, is that um, you know, you can go anywhere and talk to anybody anywhere, and you can meet up with people if you want.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Well,
I love that. So, how would you rate your overall experience in Knoxville on a scale of 1 to 10?
hmm. I would give it, well, the Smoky Mountains were really great. I mean, they're not like Utah mountains where I'm at
Okay.
right now, of course, but like they were really great.
Hmm.
And if I move somewhere, which I probably will, it has to have mountains. It has to. And so that was
Right.
a big plus for the Smoky Mountains. And so I probably give it a 6.5 or 7, which
Okay.
which is
Okay. What do
doable
you think would take it up to like a 9 or a 10?
on whatever job I get offered.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
we'll see.
Well, I hope it works out. Hope you get the job, and then I'll come visit you there and you can tour me around to the not weird places once you figure the scene out.
Of course. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we can end it here. For our listeners, as always, make sure you subscribe and save. We are streaming anywhere you get your podcasts. And then make sure to rate us, leave a comment. We expect nothing less than 5 stars. And you can follow us on social media as well. We are Romance Unraveled on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time.